So many YouTuber VOD watchers said they were going to tune into your stream after your streamer awards appearance. Wait, really? That's crazy. I usually, when I interact with like larger communities, I feel like it's often muddied by what like what the chat is saying, and what the chat is saying is oftentimes so like expressly, openly anti me that like I always feel like it's hard for me to get like any charitability from like newcomers who aren't familiar with me. I saw a bunch of people being like, I never watch Hasan, but he seems like a really cool guy. Why does everyone hate him? Yeah, that's usually what it is. And what I mean by that is, that's usually what it is. And what I mean by that is like those guys who wrote that in the chat probably got like 700 DMs from like alt accounts being like Himmler's dictate 1488, telling them like, did you know that Hasan actually wants to kill Ukrainians personally? And he might have actually done that. You know what I mean? Because like every time someone says some shit like that, there's like at least 30 fucking psychotic crypto fash Nazi fucking weirdos that are waiting to be like, he actually is the worst. Yeah, I know for a fact that like literally chatters that I pull up get DMs from people like that. Chatters get DMs like from people like that. Literally when they use my emotes in other people's chats. It's wild. It's wild. It's crazy. It's scary. Wait 1 second. Ugh. No, it's motherfucking Murad. I was like, damn, are my guests here early? What the hell is this? I was sent a link of you using the R word. Oh yeah, I mean, exactly. I have never been harassed more on this platform than when I use the Hasan emote in Poki's chat and I mod for someone who used to work for Kotaku. Oh, yeah, no. I got a DM in YouTube for commenting on one of your videos. That's what I mean. It's like, dude, they try to make it as hard as possible to even be a fan of mine because, and I thought about this long and hard. Okay, I don't know how we got here, but this is something that I want to mention really quickly. I thought about this long and hard and I was like, why do they do that? Right? Not, and I don't mean like on a deep personal level. Like obviously there's like a lot of issues. These people have a lot of issues. They have political disagreements with me and they think I'm like responsible for all the awfulness that they feel in the world. That's not what I'm talking about. Why do they do that? You want to know why? Because they want to isolate me. Why do they want to isolate me? Why do they want to dissuade other people from watching? Why do they want to tarnish my reputation? Well, because they can't hit my sponsors. Because I don't fucking have sponsors. Normally, back in the day, all these like 4chan poll watchers, the Kiwi Farm style, like lol cow people, like they would usually go after your sponsors. They would just like try to get you they would try to take you out that way. They would try to shut you off financially, so it's no longer feasible for you to do this as a career. But because this community is funded by you guys, they have to do everything and anything they can to basically try and stop that movement and that momentum from growing. And the way that they do it is by basically mentioning the exact same things all the fucking time. He bought a house. He bought a car. Fake socialist. So, you know, don't get dissuaded when people write psychotic shit like that. Always remember that they're not coming at it from like a very serious position. Now, of course, it still works because I don't expect most people to like look for the full context. So from afar, they probably see a lot of like commotion and controversy and think, oh, maybe he's like a bit of a toxic guy. I also simultaneously have like a very active community, wonderful fans who who do engage in politics regularly, and therefore that is also additionally terrifying from a content creator's perspective. Where there is smoke, there is fire. Exactly. And because there's no fire, they try to fucking create smoke all the time. But once there's enough smoke, most people are not going to touch you. So that's how it is. When I was in another chat and when the Double Down KFC challenge happened, they were spamming Hasan would take it, socialist, by the way, and things of that nature. Brother, I have actually, I would go so far as to say, defended Mr. Beast numerous times when I feel like he was getting unjustifiable hate. I talked to Jimmy personally, talked to him personally. And yet, whenever Mr. Beast is like, quote unquote, being canceled on Twitter, the shit that pops off the most is like people that say, oh, classic. Hasan fucking sucks and he hates Mr. Beast. I'm like, motherfucker, I know him. Like, I know him. It's the same energy as like, FaZe Kason, right? Isn't that, I mean, I think he was literally sitting at the table next to me. He was sitting next to Rage. He only singled me out talking about like, oh, Hasan talked about Kai. I wasn't the only one who talked about Kai in exactly the same ways. Ludwig did too. XQC did too. But it is infinitely more fashionable to turn it automatically into a political conversation where lines have to be drawn when you just single me out. I'm sure he's otherwise like a good guy, a normal guy, you know what I mean? But he did that. So that's just a consequence of like people trying to drum up smoke year after year after year, which is why I think the hatred goes the hatred goes out of control whenever I like win an award or something. Whenever people have to be faced, whenever people have to face that like a lot of people in this space, people who know me in person, don't have negative opinions of me in the same way that they want to channel through all of their favorite streamers' chats. That frustrates them. So they have to go extra unhinged. You know? And it is what it is. Please acknowledge my good analogy. When you're always near fires, you're either an arsonist or a firefighter. And most people assume you're an arsonist. That is a really good analogy. So good that I might actually steal it. I found your channel just like that. Someone wrote that you said something wrong about Ukraine. And I said to myself, I'm going to check out what this guy really said. And I stayed. Thanks to you, I started to shift my political views towards the left. And I'm grateful for that. Yeah, but, you know, that's awesome. And I love that. But, you know, for as many, for every one person like you, there's unfortunately 100 that don't do that. It is what it is, though. But yeah, just remember that you know, you are the reason why I can do what I do. That's it. And the reason why they have to like attack me directly or attack my fans to make it as like unimaginably difficult as possible to be a fucking fan of mine by like harassing my individual fans, that is by design. They do that because your support is what keeps me editorially independent. It's wild how much hate you get from normies who hate Andrew Tate and Matt Walsh. Like, how can you get all of you in the same bucket? Because they don't know any better. They just only see like made up controversies. My intern last summer said to my face, Hasan doesn't live his values because he owns multiple mansions. And I don't know, he could have been so wrong. I mean, he's not wrong. I live in his mind. And if you consider his mind to be a mansion, it seems like I do own at least permanent space there. See, immediately the moment that we start talking about it, you know, there's going to be people writing essays. Okay. My favorite though is not like my favorite is not the mansion discourse. My favorite definitely is the motherfucking Hasan steals from other content creators by reacting to YouTube videos as he plays them and leaves the fucking video itself. When Meat Canyon literally came up to me, we have never interacted before. After he won his award, he came up to me after the award show and was like, dude, thank you so much for watching my videos on your stream. Yet another content creator who I've never interacted with, he said, dude, you really helped out with like growing my community on Twitch. Like you did thank you so much. Straight up. And he's a fucking gigantic YouTube content creator. Why is it that like so many YouTubers, so many content creators say like, oh, I actually love when people like Hasan watch my videos? It's the people, surprisingly, whose videos I do not watch that chirp the most, whose videos I have never watched that chirp the most about reaction or ReactGate, when ironically they themselves engage in that, because all content and all art is ultimately derivative. You can't make that argument to people who consider that reaction is theft no matter what. I know. But no one is using their own individual copyrighted, patented fucking content unless they are also, video game designers that made their own video games that are playing a fucking video game on their own. A lot of fans get tricked by ReactGate because they falsely equate it into things like being paid in exposure. Yeah. Saw someone complain about you winning when you steal videos when you've definitely never watched their videos before and they were complaining. Yeah, they always do that. Always. Anyway. They don't even care. They just drive clicks. There are several people I've seen on Twitter that play both sides on every single viral thing about you just to farm like OnlyFans subs. It isn't just political. Yeah. Exactly. That's why it's like hilarious. That's why it's hilarious when people do that, because like my favorite is my other favorite, other than like he's stealing fucking content from other content creators. My second favorite is when people go and say things like, "Oh, Hasan is not a real socialist. I am." You know? And then you look at like how they want to make money, and it's exactly the same way that I make money, just not at that level yet. And it's like, okay, but if you're trying to grow your Substack or grow your Twitch stream or grow your subscriber base of support while simultaneously doing that by shitting on me doing the same thing, then seems like you don't have a issue. There's so many content creators that love when you watch their stuff, but they'll never acknowledge that. Yeah, exactly. Look, dude, this was funny too. Hasan the Hood has taken home the streaming for news. All the people whose content I stole for this award in one room. Yeah. Odd. Anyway. As an autistic, I'm extremely vulnerable and very lucky to have found you to depend, understand, and develop political and social compass on my own, which unfortunately is very justice-seeking and has difficulty understanding why the world and justice systems have nuances and imperfections and effective ways to approach and fix them in a practical way. Sorry for the essay, but thank you so much for everything. Well, this is the literal number one joke over-explaining for the neurodivergent broadcast on the planet. So I know my audience, and I will oftentimes, I recognize that is one component of being autistic. is like having like a very strong moral compass, but sometimes not being able to, detect nuance, which is why I always explain jokes. I know that like it's, you're not, it gets annoying for a lot of people sometimes, but like that is literally what part of the reason why I do that. This is the, this is the autism spectrum broadcast. I mean, yeah, it is. The dumbest take is the ones that infantilize other creators, thinking that they don't know the dangers of React content. Yeah, that's pretty funny because like those creators that don't understand the dangers are massive. Anyway, let's continue. We're done with the React Gate saga, which never really went anywhere, and now it's just like, and it usually won't go anywhere. It's like React Gate I put up there with Cracker Gate before I get to this part, okay? It's like there's a lot of very passionate people, and I love them for all that passion. I just hope that they use it for something. I hope that they use it like use it for good. You know what I mean? In the future, they have a lot of passion and a lot of animosity for something that like the grander community does not care about. But internally, they cook up anger and frustration. And maybe sometimes they can even like gather other communities to get in on the hate train. But ultimately, it doesn't go anywhere. Physically speaking, doesn't React content do super good? Like that's what most people are here for. Yeah, I know it does, which is why they're angry. I think because there is truth to one thing that they say, and that is that it's like lazy. Would you ever get a rhinoplasty X? No. Why the fuck would I get a rhinoplasty?